All right, everybody, welcome to week 3 and introduction to HTML. Specifically, we are going to be talking about HTML5 this week. And I want to briefly clarify what HTML5 is and what we're talking about. So first of all, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Hypertext markup language. And as the name implies, HTML is a markup language. So it's not really a programming language. It's a language that we use to kind of mark up and explain bodies of text. So what I mean by that is HTML is made up of different types of elements. And these elements all have tags. So for instance, the paragraph element is made up of 2 paragraph tags, an opening and a closing tag. So, and in between those tags is where we put our text, in this case, a paragraph of text. So in its entirety, this is an HTML element. The paragraph element. The element is made up individually of tags. And we have an opening and a closing tag. Now, not all elements need closing tags. They all need an opening tag. Not all of them need closing tags. We'll get into that in a little bit. But in HTML, the closing tag is signified by the / in between the brackets. So you'll notice that that's pretty common on most block level elements, which we'll also get into. So this is the general anatomy of an HTML element and tags. So this is a markup language, and there are lots of different markup languages out there. HTML just so happens to be the one that we use for the web. So what I don't want you guys to confuse this with is, and I often write this in quotes, is the quote HTML5 technology. And what HTML5 is when it's spoken of this way, and you'll commonly see this in media, a lot of times on places like Reddit and Hacker News and other tech sources, is people talking about HTML5 being the Flash killer and kind of ushering in this whole new revolution of interactivity on the web. And what they're really talking about here is a suite of technologies. And those technologies are HTML5, the markup, which we are using in this class, and CSS3, which we're also going to use, JavaScript, which we touched on a little bit last week, and modern browsers. And this is key here, are these modern browsers that are able to display and interpret these modern technologies. So if you use all of these things together, if you use JavaScript and CSS3 and HTML5, you can actually create very rich, very interactive online experiences, much like you can in our buddy Flash, which a lot of you are probably familiar with in other classes in this college. So HTML5, the Flash killer, when they're talking about all these different technologies combined, that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is just this little part right here, just the markup. We only want to worry about that right now. And we'll get into all of this other stuff as the semester goes on. But when I say HTML5 in this class, what I'm talking about is the markup language and everything that goes with it. So now that we have that clarified, we'll move on to a little more of the anatomy of an HTML element and tags, along with how we build our documents using HTML5.